Hello everyone, welcome back to Mr. GOAT, where we dive deep into everything you need to know about tennis. In today's episode, we're breaking down something every tennis player and fan must understand: how scoring works in tennis. From game points to sets and tie breaks, scoring in tennis can be a bit confusing at first, but don't worry. I'm here to walk you through it step by step. 1. Understanding points in a game. Let's start with the basics. In a single game of tennis, players aim to win points, which progress in a unique sequence. Unlike most sports where points are counted as 1, 2, 3, and so on, tennis uses a specific format. The first point is scored as 15. The second as 30, the third as 40, and the fourth point wins the game. However, both players must be ahead by at least 2 points to win the game. In tennis, scoring within a game uses a unique point system that can be understood by comparing it to the quarters of a clock. Here's how it works. 0 points. Love. Just like starting at 12 o'clock on a clock, a score of love represents 0 points. At the beginning of every game, both players start at love, 0-0. The term love for 0 might derive from the French word l'œuf, meaning the egg, referring to the shape of 0. First point, 15. When a player wins their first point, they move to 15, comparable to reaching the 15-minute mark on a clock, 3 o'clock. So, the score could be 15 love, 15-0, if only one player has scored, or 15-15 if both have scored once. Second point, 30. Winning a second point moves the player to 30, like moving to the school clock position or 30 minutes on a clock. At this stage, the score might be 30-15, or 30 all, 30-30 if both players are tied. Third point, 40. The next point brings the score to 40, which is a bit different from the logical 45-minute mark on a clock. Instead of going to 45, the score jumps to 40, like the 8 o'clock position on the clock face. The choice of 40 instead of 45 is thought to have been a simplification, making it easier to say and allowing room for the deuce rule, where 40-40 requires a 2-point lead to win. Fourth point, game or deuce. If a player wins the next point after reaching 40, they usually win the game, similar to reaching the full hour or 12 o'clock again. But if both players reach 40-40, this is known as deuce, requiring one player to win 2 consecutive points to secure the game. Deuce. Deuce occurs when the score is tied at 40-40 in a game. At this point, neither player has a clear advantage. From deuce, a player must win 2 consecutive points to win the game. The first point after deuce gives one player an advantage, but they need to win 1 more point to secure the game. If they lose the next point, the score returns to deuce. Advantage. Add. Advantage is the term used when a player wins the point following a deuce. If the server wins the point after deuce, it is called add-in, advantage in. If the receiver wins the point after deuce, it is called add-out, advantage out. The player with the advantage must win the next point to win the game. If the opponent wins the next point, the score goes back to deuce. No add scoring. No add, short for no advantage, is a faster form of scoring used in some formats, like tiebreakers or certain tournaments. Under no add rules, when the score reaches deuce, 40-40, a single point is played to decide the winner of the game. This eliminates the need for additional points to reach an advantage and a final game-winning point. In doubles, the server usually serves from one side for the no-add point, and the receiving team can choose which player will receive the serve. In summary, deuce is 40-40, and both players need to win 2 points in a row to win the game. Advantage occurs after deuce, and the player with the advantage must win the next point to win the game. No add simplifies the process by having 1 point decide the outcome when the score is tied at deuce. In tennis, a set is a part of the match that consists of a series of games, and a player needs to win a certain number of games to win a set. Each set is won by the first player to reach 6 games with at least a 2-game lead. If the score reaches 5-5 in games, the set continues until one player leads by 2 games, or a tiebreak is played at 6-6 to decide the set winner. In tennis, a tiebreak is a special game played to decide the winner of a set when the score reaches 6-6. Instead of needing a 2-game lead to win the set, players compete to reach a set number of points, typically 7 points, with at least a 2-point lead over their opponent. Here's how a tiebreak works. Scoring. Points in a tiebreak are counted as simple numbers 1, 2, 3, etc., rather than the standard tennis points 15, 30, 40 narpadu. The player who reaches 7 points first and leads by at least 2 points wins the tiebreak and thus the set. If the score is tied at 6 points each, players continue playing until one achieves a 2-point lead. Serving. The player who would normally serve in the next game begins the tiebreak by serving a single point. After that, players alternate serving 2 points at a time. This rotation continues until the tiebreak ends. Switching sides. To ensure fair play under varying court conditions, players switch sides after every 6 points in the tiebreak. Winning the set. The winner of the tiebreak wins the set with a score of 7-6. This ensures the set doesn't drag on indefinitely, while still requiring a decisive victory. Tiebreaks were introduced to make matches shorter and more spectator-friendly, especially in professional tournaments. In some cases, such as in Grand Slam tournaments, a modified version called a super tiebreak is used for deciding final sets. Winning the match. In most tournaments, players need to win 2 out of 3 sets to win the match. However, in some major tournaments like the Grand Slams, men's matches are played in a best-of-5 format. This means the first player to win 3 sets takes the match. In most tennis matches, winning a specific number of sets is required to win the match. Here's how it typically works. 1. Best-of-3 sets. In most women's matches and some men's matches, the player who wins 2 sets out of 3 is declared the winner. So, a player must win 2 sets to win the match. 2. Best-of-5 sets. In Grand Slam tournaments and certain men's matches, the player needs to win 3 sets out of 5 to win the match. So, a player must win 3 sets to secure the match. The number of sets required to win varies depending on the type of tournament or match. And that wraps up our deep dive into tennis scoring. From understanding love, 15, 30, and 40, to the importance of deuce, advantage, and the unique no-add format, scoring in tennis is both strategic and exciting. Whether you're playing or watching, understanding the score helps you appreciate every intense rally and match point. Thanks for tuning in to Mr. Goat. Be sure to like, subscribe, and join us for more insights into the world of tennis. Until next time, keep practicing and keep playing.